We live in a civilization of immense mechanical scale. Our technology commands the material world with precision, yet this progress occurs within a void, leaving us with a total absence of ultimate meaning. Richard Feynman wrestled with this division his entire life. He saw an irreconcilable split between the rigor of scientific data and the value systems of his Christian heritage. For Feynman, these two pillars of the American experience simply could not speak the same language. This gap exists because modern science specializes in mastery over matter. It can explain how a cell functions or how a star collapses, but its language is incapable of defining a global purpose or the meaning of a human life. Modern religion suffers from the opposite defect. It offers a sense of purpose, but it relies on traditional imagery that has stopped evolving. Its teachings remain isolated, divorced from the physical, verifiable reality we observe through a telescope. Left with a choice between a dead, mechanical universe and an unprovable myth, humanity remains trapped. We survive as a thin layer of mold on a rock, drifting toward a planned degradation. Avoiding this destruction requires more than a compromise between these two fields. It requires us to admit that both our science and our religion are currently broken. A radical framework called Univay suggests a way out. It treats the equations of physics and the narratives of religion as the two halves of a single, literal engineering manual. If we view the world as a programmed evolution, our role changes. We move from being passive observers to engineers, tasked with using these two systems to facilitate a conscious return to the divine. In this model, the rigid laws of physics and the moral commands of sacred texts become interlocking components. They are the raw materials for a functioning device. Reframing these disciplines into a practical manual is the first step toward the next stage of human evolution. Construction begins with a process called Heavenlyzation. This is an upgrade intended to pull both science and religion out of their isolated limitations. The scientific method must ascend beyond short-term, local benefits. It gains power by adopting a criterion of God-pleasingness, where every discovery is measured by its contribution to global efficiency and ultimate meaning. Religion undergoes a similar transformation. Its image of God must survive rigorous self-criticism until it becomes a concrete force, one capable of generating the very laws of physics we measure in a lab. Only after these upgrades can the two separate systems integrate. When religion generates physical laws and science seeks ultimate meaning, they finally output working technology. This technology is powered by the four revelations. They describe the physical universe as the psyche of God, where every configuration of matter acts as encoded data. Specific columns of the Torah contain data points within this cosmic code, acting as software guiding our development. This dataset includes the gospel, biological history, and human misery. Every natural system translates a message to the Creator. What we once perceived as unrelated physical laws and religious myths are the individual subroutines of this evolutionary translation process. To interact with the software, we must organize matter into specialized areas called detachments from the universe. These devices perform functions currently impossible in standard labs. They can physically measure the intensity of high-level emotions and remove non-temperature chaos from the cores of quantum computers. These machines detect anomalies that break our current understanding of physics. We interpret these deviations as the language and activity of higher beings, such as nature spirits and angels. The combination of religious software and advanced physical hardware creates the ship of absolute flight. This is the mechanism built to return human consciousness to God. Looking back through history, we see that primitive magic and ancient divination were early, functionally supported attempts to engage with these higher dynamics. However, these methods are no longer supported by the program of evolution. Relying on modern psychics or clinging to rigid secular science results in a dead end. We have reached a point of ultimate choice. Humanity must undergo a painful, radical break from its traditions or face extinction. True magic today is the rigorous, conscious reading of the cosmic message through the devices we engineer from both physics and faith. Our past history was a preparatory stage. By unifying verifiable science with the divine, we leave our mold-like existence behind. Real life is just beginning.